Namaste, dear students. As usual, today also, first of all, I want to welcome you to our English class of grade 9. I hope you might have been ready with your English textbook, notebook, and pen or pencil. Are you ready with them? Good. So today, we are going to learn something new in Unit 2. So you have to make a guess for it, okay? What we are going to learn today. Before that, you have to recall what we learned in our previous class. Can you tell me? Well, we learned the text or story that is about health is wealth, okay? And can you remember the characters? Yes, there was a king. And how was the king like? Well done. The king was like a cow's potato. He was very fat, He could not move. That was his problem. That's why his citizens didn't like him. Then what happened there? Can you tell me? Well, and there came a holy man and he sent his message through a minister about the sickness of the king. And he said that he could cure him, okay? So for that one, what did the king do? Can you tell me? Yes, the king had to visit the holy man's house on foot by walking, okay? So that was his physical exercise, and later he went there regularly, but he did not meet the holy man. And that was a trick of the holy man made upon the king so that the king could lose his weight and he could be fit and fine, And later the king also realized that he had to do physical exercises. He should not be a couch potato, okay? So later he became fit and fine. So we need to do physical exercises. And it is equally important that to cure any disease, it is always not necessary to use medicines, Without using medicines, the king was able to lose his weight, okay? So we have to do physical exercises. And then we did some comprehension task. And today, it is our last class for Unit 2, So what are we going to learn? Can you tell me now? Well, we are going to learn grammar 2 and then writing 2. So is it interesting for you? Definitely. Good. So for this one, you have to be ready to learn and watch me very carefully, okay? Let's begin then. Our grammar 2. And what are we going to learn? It is about conditional sentences. And I hope in your previous class, you learned conditional sentence type 1. Okay? So can you tell me any sentence using conditional type 1? Or you can say zero condition. What is it? You can tell me one sentence for it. This can be, if you invite me, I will join the party, okay? See, this can be an example for zero condition sentence, okay? If you invite me, I will join the party. So you have to understand the structure here. See, here is invite, infinitive, okay? And here you can find will plus infinitive. So if we use this structure, then it can be taken as conditional sentence type 1 or 0 condition. Is it clear, all of you? So you learned it in your previous class. Now I want to go to other types of conditional sentences, and they are, yes, type 2 and type 3. Dear students, first of all, I want to show you some examples of conditional sentences type 2 and type 3. But you have to find out which one is type 2 and which one is type 3 from the given examples, okay? So for this one, have a look. Study what the people in the picture are saying. Now, see, what would you do if you found a 100-rupee note? Okay, and this boy answers like this: I would buy a notebook if I found a 100-rupee note. looking at this structure, look at would you do, okay, would plus infinitive, and here we have past tense, simple past tense, or simply you can understand as verb to, okay. This structure is used here, and here the answer is also given using the same structure. There is would plus infinitive, and here we have simple past tense, okay. So it means which type, is it type 2 or type 3? You have to find out later, you have to tell me, okay. So again I want to show you some more examples. You just have a look. Study these sentences. Number A, the king would be treated only if he came on foot to the holy man's residence. See, this line is extracted from the same lesson, same text, that is health is wealth. The king would be treated only if he came on foot to the holy man's residence. So you have to see highlighted words here. Would be is highlighted here, came is highlighted here, and you have to tell me whether it is type 2 or type 3, okay. Number B, if Sarita had an Android mobile phone, she would join the virtual classroom. Now here also had and would join, okay. So the first sentence and the second sentence structure you can find similar. Now look at C. If the king had lived an active life, his health would not have worsened. Now, I hope you might have noticed a new structure in this C. That is, here is had lived, okay, past perfect, had plus past participle here. And here you can find would not have worsened, would, then we have, and then again past participle form of the verb, or simply you can understand locally as verb 3, okay. Number D, had she studied hard, she would have secured the best result. You can see the structure used in C and D is similar, okay. Here is also had plus past participle, you can say past perfect, and here we have would have plus secured, would have plus past participle. And if you look at number E, if we had listened to the radio, we would have heard the news, and this structure is also similar to the structure of D and C. And again number F, it would not surprise me if he knew the answer. Now this structure is similar to A, B, you know. So from these examples, can you tell me which one is type 1, type 2 and type 3? All right, if there is a structure, simple past, S-I-M-P-L-E, simple past, plus if there is would, or let's say could, or it can be should, or it can be might, plus infinitive, okay, I-N-F-I-N-I-T-I-V, infinitive, one structure. Another structure we have is that past perfect plus would, again you can use the same terms, could, should, might, plus have plus past participle, okay, past participle. These two structures are used. Now your job is to tell me which one is type 2 and which one is type 3. Can you tell me, is this type 2 or this one? Which one? You are right. If there is the structure simple past, and then if there is would, could, should, might plus infinitive, then that is type 2. Okay, and if we have this structure past perfect, had plus past participle, and then if we have would, could, should, might, have plus past participle, or you can understand as verb 3, then that is conditional sentence type 3. Is that clear, all of you? So you can find this structure from these examples. Now after this one, we have exercise, okay. We have exercise. You just need to fill up. Don't forget the structures I have given you on the board. I hope you might have note it down in your exercise book also. So I am giving you a task, whether you can supply the correct form of the verbs based on these two structures or not. So are you ready for it? Can you do? Don't worry, I am here to support you, okay? So for this one, let's have a look. B. Complete the following sentences with the correct form of the verbs given in the brackets. Now, you have to analyze the parts of the sentence. You have to analyze the structure, and then only you can supply the correct form of the verb in the blanks, okay? For example, I can tell you, A. I had seen cheating a few minutes ago. If you had come round earlier, you. Dear students, now you have to be careful here. Look at this part. If you had come, now had come, okay? It is in which structure? This structure or this structure? Yes, you are right. Had come means past perfect, okay? Had come. And then if it is in another part of the sentence, you have to supply this structure. For example, here is you blank and then see him too. So what can be the correct answer? You have to supply, okay? Later on, I will check. Number B, I wish I were a bird. If I were a bird, now here again you have to be very careful. In this part, you can see if I were. Now here is, you can see, past perfect or simple past? Yes, were is simple past. W-E-R-E, were, simple past, okay? So if there is simple past, you have to supply this structure. Would, could, should, might plus infinitive. Any one of the words from these modals, and then you have to add their infinitive form, okay? So you can do this one. Number C. Provided that also you can understand as if, okay? In our conditional sentences, we can use if, provided that, you know. Provided that you, blank space, be 20, you could play the match. Now, again look at this second part of the sentence. You could play the match. So, could play means this structure or this structure. See, simple past, could. Could is the simple past form of can, okay? So, could plus there is infinitive, okay? So, you have to supply this structure. Similarly, now I want to check, first of all, these three, and based on these ideas, you can do rest of the exercises, okay? So, now all of you tell me what can be the correct answer that you have written in your notebook for number A. I had seen cheering a few minutes ago. If you had come round earlier, you, what's your answer? Now, let me check. You would have seen him too. So, if you have written there, would have seen. Look at, here is had come, past participle. So, if there is a structure in the first part, had plus past participle, then you have to supply there would, could, should, might, any one of the word, then have plus past participle. It means this structure you are following, and this is conditional sentence type 3. So do you have this answer? If you have this answer, I want to clap for you. If you don't have, don't worry. I am here to help you, okay? So if you have wrong answer, now you can correct your answer with would have seen. And your full sentence becomes, if you had come round earlier, you would have seen him too. Is it clear, all of you? Fine. Now, number B. I wish I were a bird. If I were a bird, I, blank space, fly around the world. So what's your answer that you have written? Please, all of you tell me. Now, I am going to show you the answer. If you are right, you can clap for yourselves, okay? Your answer should be, I would fly, you know. See, if I were a bird, I would fly around the world. So why? Our structure, later I will tell you where do we have to use type 2, type 3, I will tell you the situations, okay? But now you have to be familiar with the structures. See, here is if I were, it is in simple past form, and in another part, if it is simple past, then there should be one of the modals like would or could or should or might, then we should have infinitive form of the verb. In simple words, you can say verb 1. Okay, I would fly around the world, very interesting. But can we be a bird? No. So you try to understand the situation. Okay. Number C, provided that you 20, you could play the match. Now this structure is similar to the structure of B. So what's your answer? What have you written? You all tell me. Again, if you are right, I want to clap for you. If you are not, don't be upset, my dear students. I am here to help you and you are here to learn. Okay? We learn by making mistakes. Good. Now your answer should be, provided that you were 20, you could play the maths. Okay, here is past tense plus infinitive. And if we have this structure, in another part, we have to supply their simple past. Okay, there is could plus infinitive. Look at, we have could plus infinitive. Is the idea clear to you? Good. If so, now some more task for you. Number D. George was happy that he came to Nepal. If he had not, he blank space, not see in the brackets, Mount Everest. So what's your answer? Now you have to look at this part. If he had not, okay, it means that automatically you have to understand there is past participle form and then you have to supply. So for this one, I just like to give you a clue that you have to use this structure. Okay. Number E. What would you do if you blank space in the brackets we have win the lottery of rupees 1 lakh? Okay. So which structure do you follow? What would you? Now you can see would plus we have would plus do infinitive. You have to supply this part. Okay. It means that simple past form of the verb win. This is just a clue you have to do in your notebook. Okay. Now number F. Seema missed the bus to go home. If she blank space in the brackets we have come in time, she would have caught the bus. Can you tell me? Is this second type or the third type? Number F. Okay, you can see this part. She would have caught. Would have caught. Now again you can see here would have, then past participle. So it means that you have to supply this part, past perfect. Okay? I hope you might have done. Now I am going to check your answers. Are you ready to check with me? Good. Your answer for number D should be, once again all of you tell me loudly. Well done. Your answer should be would not have seen. See, the complete sentence becomes, if he had not, he would not have seen Mount Everest. Okay, it means that if he had not come to Nepal, he would not have seen Mount Everest. All right, is it clear? Now number A, what would you do if you, I hope you all might have done this answer correctly. So what's your answer? Yes, your answer should be, if you won the lottery of rupees 1 lakh. What would you do if you won the lottery of rupees 1 lakh? Okay. Now number F. Seema missed the bus to go home. If she, now what's your answer? All of you tell me loudly. Well done. Your answer should be, if she had come in time, she would have caught the bus. It means that she had not come in time, that's why she missed the bus. Okay, so these are the correct answers. Again, number G, she would lose weight if she blank space, not eat in the brackets, a lot of sweets. You just write down the correct form of the verb, not eat. Number H, they might have helped you if you blank space, ask is in bracket, them. Number I, if he blank space in the bracket the verb is drive more carefully, he might not have had that accident. Number J, if everyone blank space turn off unwanted lights, we could save a lot of electricity. Dear students, I hope you might have already got the clear idea of the structures, conditional sentence type 2 and 3. So you have to supply the correct forms of the given verbs. Have you done? Good. If so, now check with me. So your answer should be in number J. All of you tell me loudly. All right. It should be, if you would lose weight, she would lose weight if she did not eat. यो मैले अहिले बोलेको अलिकति काट्नु ल यहाँ. She would lose weight if she did not eat a lot of sweets. We have would plus, look at infinitive here. So you have to supply there simple past. Simple past negative here. So you have to write down did not eat. Okay. Number 8, all of you tell me your answer. And your answer should be had asked. Can you tell me why? Yes. They might have helped. Look at might have helped means might plus have plus past participle. It means conditional sentence type 3. So you have to supply there this part, past perfect, had plus past participle. All right. Another answer number I. If he, what's your answer? Yes, it should be if he had driven more carefully, he might not have had that accident. Here you can see might plus have plus again past participle form. Had is the past participle form of the verb have again. Okay, might have had, might have, and then past participle form of have is had there. So this is also conditional sentence type 3. Now another we have is J, if everyone. Now we could save. You can see could save. Which type is this? Yes, type 2, because we have past, could, okay, and then we have infinitive. If that is, you have to write down here simple past. And what is the simple past form of the verb turn, turn? Well done. It should be turned, turn. Is it clear, all of you? Are your answers right? Very good. If so, now you have to understand the situation. Where do we have to use conditional sentences type 2? Can you guess? From those examples, from the task that you have done, can you tell me in what situation do we use conditional sentence type 2? All of you try, please. Well, you have to use conditional sentence type 2 to express an unlikely or hypothetical condition and its probable result. Now you have to use conditional sentence type 2 especially for that type of action which is unlikely to happen or which is hypothetical, or in simple words you can understand as imaginary action. For example, if I say if I were the bird, I would fly in the sky. So can I be a bird? No, that is just my hypothetical idea. Okay, for this type of situation you have to use type 2. Good. Then when do we need to use conditional sentences type 3? Can you tell me the situation? You have already practiced a lot. Okay, let me share you. We use conditional sentences type 3 to express that the time is the past and the situation is hypothetical. Okay, so it indicates the time is past time, okay, and the situation is again imaginary situation. For example, if I say if I had passed, if I had studied well, I could have passed my exam, but in the past I did not study, so I didn't pass. Okay, in that type of situation you have to use. Or in simple words, you can even use this for expressing a regret type of thing. Okay, is it clear, all of you? Well done. Now if so, I have one more task for you. Complete each sentence in a suitable way. If you had studied well, I want to do number 1 for you on the board and rest of you have to do yourselves. Okay. Number A, if you had studied well, see, you have to look at the structure. Had plus past participle. So it means conditional sentence type 3. So you can add there any idea, but your structure should be correct. Okay. So number A, if, then what is there? You had studied. See, if you had studied well, so what idea can you add there? Any idea you can add, but your structure should be correct. It is conditional sentence type 3. Okay, so what you have to supply there? Would, could, should, or might plus have plus past participle. So you can simply write down you would have passed the exam. See, now you have to focus here. If you had studied, had plus past participle, and in our another part you have to add there would or could or should or might plus have plus past participle. Okay, so it is conditional sentence type 3. Is it clear, all of you? Like this, number B you have to do. If you asked me, so what can be its answer? Number B. If you asked me, what idea do you want to add there? Okay, I could, C-O-U-L-D, could tell you. See, if you asked me, I could tell you. So it is hypothetical. You didn't ask and I also didn't tell you. Okay, but if you asked me, I could tell you. It is conditional sentence type good 2. Like this, number C. If we had gone to the cinema, now tell me, all of you, if we had gone to the cinema, so what idea do you want to add there? And tell me, which type is this? Yes, you are right. It is conditional sentence type 3 because had plus past participle, past perfect. Okay, so you can write down, if we had gone to the cinema, we would have met, M-E-T, met the hero of it. See, you can add any idea, okay, but your structure should be right. If we had gone to the cinema, we would have met the hero of it. But if you would not go there, then you would not see. Okay, so that's why it is again type 3, past perfect, had plus past participle, and here also you have to write down would have plus past participle. This is how you have to do this exercise. Dear students, I hope you might have got the ideas to do this task. So number D, if you spoke English, here is simple past. Okay, you have to add there again. And if they listen to me, here is also simple past. You have to add your one ideas, but don't forget to follow the right structures. Is it clear, all of you? I want to give you this task as your home assignment. Now again same, continue part. Complete this sentence in a suitable way, same. Now second part is given here. You have to supply the first part. For example, I want to do number F for you. F. So you have to write down the first part, and there is if I had your address. If I had your address, okay, ADDRESS, address. Now here is also the same case. You have to look at this part. Had your address. Now had is simple past. If there is simple past form of the verb, you have to supply here either would, could, should, might, any one, then infinitive. Okay, so what can you write down? If I had, I would visit, V-I-S-I-T, visit your house. Okay, if I would visit your house if I had your address. And you can write down like this one, if I had your address, I would visit your house. Is that clear, all of you? So anyway, and don't forget one idea. If you write if in the second part, before if don't use comma. Okay, and if you use this if in the first part, then you have to use their comma after the first part of the sentence. Is it clear, all of you? So this is what you have to do as your home assignment. Is it clear, all of you? Fine. After this, again one more assignment I like to add you. Look at, suppose you are elected as a ward president, what would you do in your ward? Now you can start like this. If I were the ward president, I would develop my ward. And here is also the condition, and it is hypothetical condition for you. Okay, if you become a president, what do you do? Here if I were the word president, I would develop. See the structure, here is simple past and here is also would plus infinitive. This is what you have to do. Is it clear all of you about the conditional sentences type 2 and type 3? Very good. Now after this, I like to take you to writing 2 of this unit. And what is it? Can you guess? Wow, interesting. See. Quanti is a popular Newari food item. Here are the steps of preparing it. Arrange them in the correct order and write the recipe for making it. Quanti, it is a very famous Newari food item. And even on the day of Janai Purnima, we all people have it, okay? Mixture of different beans, we cook and have. It is full of protein, So here is a recipe for you. Recipe means how to cook, okay? And the order of the recipe is not given properly. Now you have to tell me first which one should be there. So while preparing recipe or giving recipe, first of all we have to mention ingredients. Do you know the meaning of ingredients? Ingredients means necessary things we need to cook that particular food item. For example, if we want to cook quanti, we need sprouted mixed beans. Look at sprouted, this one. Ghee, onion, cumin seeds, carom seeds, coriander powder, ginger, garlic paste, tomatoes, bay leaves, chili powder, turmeric powder, salt. These things are necessary to cook this quanti. Now, here are some steps and they are given in wrong way, okay? Now you have to write down in correct order so that it becomes a perfect recipe and people can cook quanti. So let's read. Put cumin seeds and carom seeds in a pan and fry them. Add tomatoes, turmeric powder and coriander powder. Fry until tomato is tender. Melt ghee in a pressure cooker. Add onion, then bay leaves and ginger garlic paste. Now add sprouted mixed beans quanti and then red chili powder. Fry for 5 to 6 minutes. Cook for about 4-5 whistles. Add hot water, then salt and garam masala. Quanti is ready to be served. Now, which one should be the first step to cook quanti? Can you tell me? I hope you might have already write down the number in your notebook. And the first one should be, say, melt ghee in a pressure cooker. Okay. Then which one should be there? Alright, there should be put cumin seeds and carom seeds in a pan and fry them. Then which one should be there? It should be add onion, then bay leaves and ginger garlic paste. Okay, then what do we need to do? It should be add tomatoes, turmeric powder and coriander powder. Then what should we do again? Still quanti is not ready to serve. Okay, you have to fry until tomato is tender. And then again it's not ready. What should we do? Yes, now add sprouted mixed beans, that is what we call quanti, and then red chili powder. Then again not ready. What should we do? Okay, fry for 5 to 6 minutes. You have to stir and you have to fry. Then again, what do we need to do? Alright, we have to add hot water, then salt and garam masala. And then what do we need to do again? Yes, cook for about 4-5 whistles, CT, in pressure cooker. And then at last, your quanti is ready to be served. Is it clear, dear students? You can follow these steps at your home and one day try to cook quanti yourself. Okay, is it interesting? Wow, you are going to be a cook man. Very interesting, yeah? Now after this one, I just like to tell you tips for writing recipe. So first of all, you need to understand what recipe is. Now listen, a recipe is a stepwise procedure to cook any food item. The chef usually gives a recipe of cooking any item. It helps us cook tasty food. It is very useful to those persons who do not have any idea to cook a particular food item. For example, you don't know how to cook quanti, and if you go through those steps as a recipe, then you can also cook quanti. It's interesting. Now tips. Number 1, mention the name of dish. Write down the required ingredients to cook that dish. It is better to write down the quantities of those ingredients also. Okay, so this is first tip for you. Another tip, write in a stepwise procedure. Use the linking words such as first of all, after that, etc. Then use imperative sentences. It means begin your sentence with the verb, okay? And then mention the utensils required for preparing the dish. It is optional one, not always compulsory. Utensils means pots. What pots are necessary there? For example, we can use pressure cooker for quantity. If you want to make an omelette, maybe pan, you know, such things. And then it is better to write in points rather than in a paragraph. So recipe, if you give point wise, that's better. It will be easier to understand rather than in a paragraph. Okay, these are the tips. I hope while I'm saying, meanwhile, you might have noted down these tips in your notebook. So I hope now you can give a recipe. So for this one, I have a task for you as a home assignment, that is, your brother or sister wants to make an omelette. Give him or her a recipe to make it. Now you can use first of all and then da-di-da-di-da. Okay. Now next day, using your recipe, I also want to make an omelette and I want to test it. Is it interesting? Well done. Dear students, we have come to the end of our today's class and the unit 2. I hope you might have fully enjoyed and learnt better to do different tasks under reading, writing, listening and speaking skills, including grammar. I hope you practice these all things in your free time. Stay watching us. It's all for today. Have a wonderful time. Goodbye.